Okay, let's start with an open book. Knees are forward, feet are lined up with your bum. Pull your bottom arm forward. If you need a cushion or a block under your head, grab one. Top hand is on your bottom hand in an arrow. You're going to lift your arm up and circle around, looking at your hand as you go. Trying to keep your knees still. Your bottom knee stays down on the ground, your top knee stays with your bottom knee. Do 2 more like that. And release. Straighten out to one long line. Your bottom arm is straight, your legs are out straight. Look down, you should just be able to see your toes. You're evenly lined up with the front and the back of your body. Slip your top hand under that little gap between your rib cage and your pelvis for your little mouse hole. Get your heels level. Feel how you've got that little gap between your waist and the floor. Keep that gap as you lift your top leg up and flex down. Depending on your skeletal structure, you'll be able to lift quite high or not very high. Everyone's got a different hip arrangement, pelvis to thigh bone arrangement. So you may be able to lift quite high, other people maybe not. Hold yourself still as you reach for length and lower. One more. Flex as you come down. Take your bottom hand out, put it down on the floor, squeeze your heels together, inner thighs, low abdominals, both legs lift, and take that down. Reach for length. Take that down. Long through your spine, even front to back with your spine. Do 3 more. Squeeze your inner heels, squeeze your inner thighs, pull up and in with your abdominals. And on this one, stay lifted, make that whole inner thigh connection. Lift your top arm up to come into a balance. Make sure you can see that top arm in your peripheral vision, that you haven't brought it behind you and poked your ribs out. You're nice and long through the whole line of your body, even front to back. Lower your arm and lower your legs. Bend your bottom arm, create a cushion for your head, bring your bottom leg forward, lift your top leg up, and then take your hand behind the natural curve of your low back. Feel how you have an inward curve there. Keep that inward curve the same as you reach your top leg forward. And then keep that curve the same as you reach your top leg back. As you reach the leg forward, it will feel like you're doing the action of 6 or sticking your bum out. As you reach the leg back, it will feel like the action of 12 and that you're really pulling in and up with your abdominals. Holding your spine still, holding your pelvis still, reaching for length through the crown of your head. Let's do 2 more. No rounding as the leg reaches forward, no arching as the leg reaches back. And land that down. Come up onto your elbow and knees for a side plank. Your elbow is right under your shoulder and lined up with your knees. Your feet are behind you. And then lift up out of your shoulders and then lift your hips, lift your arm, lift your leg, and little gentle swings forward and back. The swings are challenging the stability of your torso, so you're staying still, reaching long through the crown of your head. Your top arm is in your peripheral vision. If you know you're a rib thruster, make sure you haven't pulled your arm back and pushed your ribs forward. Do a couple more. And land down from there, and then come up for the side bend. On your hand with your fingers pointing towards, away from your body. Top heel is tucked in front of your bottom ankle, nice and wide across your collarbones. Lift your hips and side bend over and take that down. And lift and down. If you want to make it harder, take your feet and your hands a little further away from each other. Come up into the full side bend and take that down. Nice width across your collarbones, even as you come down. Try not to sink into your shoulders. Lifting the underside to create a nice banana shape with your body. And release. Come into the Z position. Nice lift and side bend over. Try to lift up rather than just fold. And then the other way. Bend your bottom supporting elbow so that your shoulder stays down away from your ear. Put your opposite sitting bone as close to the mat as you can. Keep it there as you rotate around. And lift up and back. And rotate. And twist back. One more. And twist up and back. And release. Let's do all of that on the other side, starting with the open book. Your arm is forward, your knees are forward, your feet are lined up with your palm. Head on a cushion if you need it. Top hand on the bottom hand and then circle up and around. Trying to keep your knees as still as you can. Bottom knee stays on the floor, top knee stays with the bottom knee. Or if you don't want to be that strict, then let things move a little bit. You choose. One more. And then bring that bottom arm straight out. Legs out straight. You should just be able to see your toes. Pop your top hand under that, in that little gap between your bottom waist and the floor. Keep the gap as you lift the top leg and flex to lower. Point and lift, flex to lower. Lift as high as you can. Keep the little gap under your waist the same. You're trying not to let your pelvis move clockwise, counterclockwise. Do 2 more. And then take that bottom hand out, rest it down on the ground, heels together, inner thighs on, tummy pulled in, lift both legs up and take that down. Think of reaching for length. You're squeezing your inner heels, squeezing your inner thighs, pulling your tummy in. It's like you're a mermaid lifting one leg up. 2 more. And on the second one, stay lifted. Inner heels, inner thighs, tummy, length through your spine. Lift your top arm up to come into a balance. Remember to make sure that top hand is in your peripheral vision. You haven't slung it behind you and pushed your ribs out and arched your back. Even front to back with the body. Even length on each side. Keep squeezing your inner heels, pulling your low abdominals in, growing long. Lower your hand down, lower your legs down. Bend your bottom arm, swing your bottom leg forward. Top leg is lifted just to hip height. Hand is behind your back in the natural inward curve of your low back. Keep that curve the same as you reach the leg forward. Keep it the same as you reach the leg back. It will feel like the action of 6, sticking your bum out as the leg reaches forward. Flex the foot if you want. Point the toe as you reach the leg back, no arching. The action of 6 as you reach forward. The action of 12 as you reach the leg back to prevent any movement. Remember, stability is an action. Do 1 more. And then land down from there and sit up for the side plank. So elbow under your shoulder, elbow and knees on the same line of the mat. Nice width across your collarbones, and then lift your hips up, lift your top arm, lift your top leg, and little swing forward and back. The swing is to challenge the stability of your torso. Again, you're not letting your back arch or round, you're keeping your pelvis still against the pull of the leg. 1 more each way. Make sure you haven't thrust your ribs out and brought your arm behind you. And lower down and sit up for the side bend. Fingers pointing away from you. Top heel is tucked in front of your bottom ankle. Nice and wide across your collarbones, so no sinking. And lift your hips, side bend over, and take that down. And lift, side bend over. If you want to make it harder, feet a little bit further away from your hand, and side bend up. Take that down. Lift the underside to create a nice banana shape. 2 more. Lift. 1 last one. And take that down and come into the Z position. Nice lift through both sides of your spine as you go up and over. Stretch the side that was just working. And then go the other way. Bend your supporting elbow so that shoulder stays down away from your ear. Opposite sitting bone down to the mat. Keep it there as you rotate your ribs around. And as you rotate your ribs up and back. Bring your hand through only as much as the opposite sitting bone doesn't have to lift off the mat. So you're keeping your pelvis still. Challenging that stability by twisting your ribs. 1 more. Good. And release from there. Now it's time for our teasers. Yay. Remember, we've been working on moving the pelvis while holding the leg still. So a little half roll back to practice that. So feet stay down, feet and knees lined up with your front hip bones. Nice lift through your spine. Roll your marbles to 12 and feel how it's a pelvis movement that takes you back. And lift and stack up tall. Do that again. Pelvis movement rolls you back. Bring yourself up, lift and stack up tall. Now try that with a bent leg. So You're going to roll behind your sitting bones, come into a balance, heels are touching, and now you're going to try and keep this bent leg shape still. Just roll your pelvis in a half roll back and bring yourself up. You will almost feel like you have to roll your legs away, reach your legs away from you to hold them still. So they don't come with the pelvis moves away from the legs and land down. Good. Now we'll just hold a normal teaser shape. So hands behind your thighs, a nice lift. Roll your marble 12 to come into a balance behind your sitting bones. Keep pulling your low abdominals in and lifting and separating your back bones in your long curve. Remember, you're behind your sitting bones. Arms reach out, legs reach out, and hold. Keep lifting and separating your back bones, scooping your low abdominals in, holding your lift, and land down from there, and flip right forward onto your tummy for swimming legs. Rest your forehead down on your hands. I'm turning my head to the side so you can hear me, but you keep your forehead down on your hands. Pubic bone, front hip bone stay level on the mat. Both legs lift off the mat just a millimeter from your thigh bones lifting. So think of the thigh bone lift rather than the foot. And then one leg lifts more, and change, and change. Try to keep your knees straight. The same, one of the muscles that lifts the leg also bends the knee. So you have to work the whole leg, front and back, to have a straight leg. And it's a thigh bone lift. Change, and change, and change, and change, and lower down. Rock your pelvis side to side. And then grab one foot, forehead still resting down in your hand. Knees as close to each other as you can. Push your pubic bone down to the mat. Pull your heel towards your bum. Get a stretch in the front of your thigh. And then push that foot into the hand to lift the thigh off. So you're pushing your foot into your hand to make this happen. Take that down, change sides. Knees close together. Forehead resting down. Pubic bone down on the mat. Pull your heel to your bum. And then push your foot into your hand to lift your thigh bone off the mat. Get a different stretch. And release from there. Come up into all fours. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips for a tricep push-up. Natural curves. Crown of head reaches forward, tailbone reaches back. Bend both elbows to point back towards your thighs and bring yourself up. Remember, you're keeping the same shape at your spine, so it's a movement of your pelvis on your thigh bones. You will feel like your face is coming forward and down. If it doesn't feel like that, it means you're moving your pelvis back and the cheek is moving your pelvis back. You should feel the work in your triceps, in this part of your arm. Try not to drop your face to the mat and lose the stability of your shoulders. You're pulling your face up and back, pulling your spine up and back as you bend your elbows. As if there's a little bit of COVID-19 down here on the mat in front of you. And you're trying to keep your face away from it. Sorry about that nasty image. One more. And then reach your arms forward. Be careful if you have a shoulder problem. Rest your forehead down, get a nice shoulder stretch. And just sit back into child's pose.